Hi there, my name is Screaming Taco, and I see you have found part 2 of the Ultimate Guide to Controller in Call of Duty Mobile, name no longer pending. Now, there is a bit to cover here, so I'm going to get right into it and stop wasting time, because I'm really sick of doing retakes of this video. Now, first of all, when it comes to controller basics, we need to talk about Apple versus Android. Apple versus Android is a bit contentious, but generally Apple is far superior in terms of controller support. Android, at least at the higher ends like gaming phones, do work well, but more common devices usually have lots of input delay or might not even work with your controller. Apple, on the other hand, is very good overall for controller support, even on older devices. So Apple usually has practically no input delay, even just on common like Apple iPhones and iPads and such, in that Bluetooth works flawlessly. However, you can also buy a USB splitter adapter and then easily wire your controller and plug it in at the same time. You don't actually need the splitter adapter, but I would suggest buying one if you want to use wired, because it lets you charge your Apple device and use your controller at the same time, so it's pretty much necessary if you want to play for more than like 30 minutes. And then on top of this, Apple has another setting that very few people know about, and this is really like the biggest virtue of Apple overall, aside from the controllers actually working half the time. I'm a little upset about that because I have Android devices. I'm a little yeah. Anyway, so the biggest virtue of Apple is that if you go into your Apple settings, you can find your controller settings. And from here, you can select your controller, assuming you have Bluetooth turned on. I probably should have started with that, but in hindsight, I don't think you're that stupid. So, yeah, so once you're there, you want to just click your controller settings, and you'll find a really cool section called Controller Presets. And this is, for games like COD Mobile that do not enable button mapping on your controller, this is a saving grace, I'll tell you that. So what it basically does is it lets you create save slots for your controller and customized button mapping. Hell yeah! So you can go in there and you can button map to your heart's content and you can save it. And then once you save it, you can just pick, I want to use this in COD Mobile only, and there you go. Now you have button mapping. In a game like COD Mobile that doesn't have button mapping, because this game is really screwy for controllers. Yeah, probably shouldn't say that in a controller video. Then again, am I trying to be biased or not? No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm tired. It's like 2 in the morning. So that is about it. Some main controllers you also will want to consider using are like the Xbox One, Xbox One S, or the Series XS controllers. PlayStation DualShock 4, like for the PS4, works really well too. Personally, my favorite is the PlayStation DualSense, like the PS5. Yeah, hi, it's me. It's Editing Taco here. I realized I forgot to say something that was kind of important, and that is that I included a link in the description of this video to Amazon listings of most of the things that would be most useful to you if you want to use controller. Basically just the more common controllers that work well and that are cheapest, and I also included a link with the USB splitter adapter. So if you want to use corded, you can do that. And that's about it. The next video of this series will be covering the basics of controller in terms of actually connecting your controller in the game, which is kind of important. But yeah, so I'll see you there. Like and subscribe.